NHL 25 playoffs are underway. We've had some great series, some not so good series. What do you guys think was the best? What's going to be the best from now on? But today we're going to look at the 12 series that have currently taken place, and we're going to rank them, sort of, in a tier list, because that's what we have. Let's start off with my completely unbiased take here, and I'm going, as a Canes person, I'm going to remain unbiased.
Are you sure about that?
Canes versus Devils. I'll go B tier. I think that was a decent series. A couple overtime games. It was 4-1 in the end, but most of the games were close and exciting. Next we'll go Habs Caps. I'm going to go with a D tier. I just feel like that series, from what I saw, was fairly boring. I didn't really ever feel like Montreal had a chance in that series, which is probably part of the problem. Neither did it for Jersey. You know what? I'm going to readjust this. We'll pull that down to C tier. Other first round series. You got the LA Kings and the Edmonton Oilers. I'm going to go, it's B or A. Let's go with B tier. I think that the LA and Edmonton, this was the best rendition of Edmonton versus LA we've had in the 4 years in a row now that we've had Edmonton LA. LA got out to a hot start, winning the first 2 games, and then Edmonton won the last 4, winning the series. Pretty good high-flying offense, some comeback wins from Edmonton. Objectively good series. Vegas versus Minnesota. I'm going to go C, because even though Minnesota had a 2-1 series lead, it never really felt like Minnesota had a chance in this series. Vegas was the better team, I think, for most of it. And so I think that was a high C tier series. Following that up, we got the Battle of Ontario. That'll be our first A series. It was B. We'll go B tier. Ottawa gave them a run for their money, but Toronto was clearly more prepared. You could tell that there was a lack of playoff experience on the Ottawa Senators lineup here. They did force a game 6, I believe, after being down 3-0 in the series, I believe. So good job on them for making it as far as they did. All right, next we've got the Panthers and Lightning. This was probably the worst series of the first round, in my opinion, which stinks because the Battle of Florida should have been, in my mind, one of the best series of the first round. Both teams were really good. Florida was coming in healthy. Tampa had been rolling since the Four Nations face-off, and Florida just kicked their butts in every game, pretty much. Tampa never really looked like a good playoff team in that, which is kind of disappointing. So now we get to some better series here. The shout out to the Central Division on your absolutely remarkable first round playoff matchups. Dallas versus Colorado, S tier. This was the best first round matchup, as many predicted it would be. 7 games, the Mikko Rantanen revenge tour on Colorado, scoring a hat trick in the final game of the series to propel Dallas to the second round to face the winner of Winnipeg and St. Louis, who also happened to be in S tier. Now, whereas the series of Dallas and Colorado was better, I'd say, the game 7 between Winnipeg and St. Louis was the stuff of legends. An absolutely wild comeback from the Winnipeg Jets to get themselves into overtime, where in double overtime, I believe, they scored the series winner and moved on to the second round. So now we're going to move on to the second round of the playoffs here. And we'll go in order of the series ending. So that starts us off with Vegas and Edmonton. I think I'm going to put this in B. It was a good series, a lot of high-flying offense, and most games were very entertaining. There's not much more you can say about it. Like, Vegas and Edmonton, I feel like have also played a lot recently. Two Pacific wagons right now, and probably the 2 best teams in the Pacific this year anyways. So a really, really fun series to watch. The Riley Smith goal with 0.4 of a second left was awesome. The Leon Draisaitl overtime goal from Connor McDavid was awesome. And then the goalies putting on a battle in the last game of the series, where Stuart Skinner had 2 back-to-back shutouts. What a series that was. Following that up, we've got the Canes and Caps series. And again, this is a Canes page, so all my Canes fans out there are not going to like this. This was another C tier series. I can't help that the Canes put BTA the entire series, and I'm sure that some people will say it makes for boring hockey. Us Canes fans love this series, but in terms of like the closeness of how a series is going to be and stuff, I mean, you won this series in 5 games. Only like 2 of the games were super ultra competitive, being games 1 and game 5. And it was, I mean, I feel like Carolina dictated the pace of play for 90% of the series, which again, as a Canes fan, I love. But a general NHL fan, I could see, you know, not liking this one as much. Following that up, we've got Dallas and Winnipeg. 2 teams that had S-tier first-round matchups. We'll go A-tier second-round matchup. Dallas did end up winning in 6 games. You've got... Now, what's weird is the 2 games that Winnipeg won were Connor Hellebuck shutouts. Winnipeg was such a hot and cold team in this series, it's mind-boggling to me that they won the President's Trophy based on how just off and on they were in this playoff series. Dallas winning, Mikko Rantanen continuing his tear, although slowing down a little bit more towards the end, but the rest of the team picked it up. Ottinger has more saves than any other goalie in the playoffs by a considerable margin. Now, that could be that he's played 13 games and probably more than anybody else, but Ottinger's been rolling. They got Heiskanen back. They got Robertson back. Dallas is at full strength, which is a scary thought for Edmonton going into the conference finals. And last but certainly not least, you've got another A-tier series from Florida and Toronto. Now, this is kind of a deal where I don't think I can put a 7-game series lower than A. It was Toronto, you would expect, you know, to choke in 7 games. The last time Toronto won a game 7 was a very long time ago, and Florida won the Stanley Cup last year. So a kind of expected result. I honestly thought this series would be over in 6. I thought Florida would clinch it in home ice, but Toronto came out and shut them out, only to lose 6-1 in game 7 on a home ice. They got booed off the ice. Florida's moving on to face Carolina in the conference finals for a 2023 rematch, which hopefully for us Canes fans goes better than it did last time. So leave a comment down below, guys. What was your favorite playoff matchup? Who do you think was the worst series? Make sure you leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video. Click the subscribe button if you have not already. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay crazy, guys, and peace out.